Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. We're on episode
Woo!
9, which is crazy. So many
Man, we've been doing
episodes.
that. I mean, that's over 10 weeks because we've taken a few breaks in between
Mm-hmm.
on certain weeks. So the fact we've done it, that's episode. Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Isn't this,
Almost
it's not
3
one of those
months.
things. Yeah, it's not one of those ideas we just said, hey, we're going to do this. And like we drop off after like a week and everyone's like, what happened to them? Nope, it's,
We're here to stay,
we're still going.
baby.
Yeah, we're gonna keep doing this. It's gonna be like me and Mousie, like doing other things in like 2 years. It'll be like, we're still coming here for Thursdays on the podcast.
We still are doing the podcast. I'm gonna say this now because normally I say it at the end of the episode and it really doesn't matter. If you're listening, wherever you're listening to, hello, hi, thank you. But just wanted to give a little PSA that these also get posted to Spotify, Google Podcast, and Amazon Music and YouTube. So if Podbean isn't your preferred way to listen, there are other ways to listen. So you can find us all there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're listening now on Podbean, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
We appreciate you. And on Podbean, you can comment. So leave comments down below because I like reading them. I do read them. There's some really nice ones where they're just like, this was the best episode, or oh my god, you guys are great, or like they'll comment on something funny that happened. And I don't know, I like reading them. So
Yeah,
make sure you comment. I do read them, I promise.
exactly. Even just a small thing, like I feel like sometimes, and this is me being more venti about anything else. But like when I am someone who watches YouTube videos, sometimes I forget to comment, or when I'm engaged in something else, I won't always make a message because I'm like, it takes a lot of time and effort to comment something and to like invest that second stage in the relationship of like, you go from just a listener to someone who wants to engage with the content more
Yeah.
in different ways. But every time I've done a comment on someone's video, it's always like, the comment got noticed by somebody or someone read it. And I'm like, I mean, not that that always happens, but like
Yeah.
whenever you take the time, it's like people do care. They like when you comment. They appreciate when you make that effort. And so if you're someone who's always been hesitant because you just like aren't sure if you want to take that step, like you can literally comment anything, especially in like a space like this. Like you could say whatever you want and it'll be like, oh my goodness, someone commented on my podcast. This is the best day ever. I can't believe it.
Like I love like commenting or like trying to like make someone laugh on like Twitter or something, and like the creator likes my post, so I try and make a note of that. If I make a tweet and someone comments on it, I try and at the very least, if I can't reply to them or there's like I don't have anything that I want to say in a reply, I try and like it at the very least, because it feels good. Like it feels good to like make a joke on someone's post or like tell someone that they did a good job or like that kind of thing, and then they like it because like they acknowledge it. So
Exactly.
yeah.
This is again in no way to pressure any of you to comment, but
comment on our damn podcast.
Comment on the podcast. No, you can do whatever you want. If you're just a lurker and listen, then we appreciate you too, and really we appreciate you being there. This is just our little thing to say, hey, we appreciate those who take that extra step and want to count you out and encourage those who maybe are considering it to think about it.
Yeah, because we do read them, even if I don't like them. I try to like them, but it just takes me like
I don't like your comment. I'm not going to respond.
Like it.
Gross.
I, like it. I will never say I don't like it. I will always say it the same way that Chris Evans says it. Just I don't like it. It's so good, and I don't understand where he came up with that, but it's just
it's iconic. He's Chris Evans.
He is Chris Evans, and I love him very much. A very.
Let's fight with my mom for him.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I'll take Sebastian Stan instead. Sebastian Stan, my man, the latest man. Sorry. What have you been up to recently, Kano? How's it going? Because last week was the Eden episode, and we didn't do a little catch up or anything like that. So, how has the last 2 weeks gone for you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's been a bit of a blur for me, just because I've been doing a lot more work. And it's whenever I feel like I'm complaining about work, I just think of that one song from Hamilton where it's just Angelica going like, work, work, Angelica. And I just feel like that's me, like being one of the Schuyler sisters being like, hey, I'm just here doing work. I'm working around and taking care of life as is. But I don't mind it.
I put Hamilton. I was going to say Amazon. I put Hamilton on my watch list on Disney Plus because I saw it was on there, and I was like,
Hmm.
why am I going to pay $500 to go see it in theaters when I got it for free through my internet
Yeah.
provider?
Oh, yeah. And they did a very good job with the Disney take for sure.
Hell
Like
yeah.
it's a very good performance.
Is it
But yeah, but I don't.
censored? Are they censored for Disney Plus? Or is it
No.
okay,
I'm
good.
pretty sure. I mean, I think there's some pieces that might be a little bit less explicit, but it's also Hamilton, so they kind of are aware that like this is it's a show that has explicit content in it, so
Yeah.
they have those parts there. It's not like they refrain from it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you just gotta be aware of it. Um,
Yeah.
but it's
You've
definitely
just
a
been
good watch
working.
for sure.
I plan to
Yeah, I've
watch it.
been working. Um, and as of recording this, after once this is published, it'll be post Easter, but been working toward Easter plans.
Mm.
I'll be serving at my church on Sunday, which I kind of got like I feel like I got last minute asked. It's like, hey, do you want to serve on worship team? And I'm like, okay, sure, why not? So
Have you been
I'll be
baking
singing.
anything?
Have I been baking anything for
Yeah.
Easter?
Yeah.
Not really. Most of the time we do. I mean, we'll have a dinner, which we were like trying to figure out if we wanted something as a family, all
Mm-hmm.
together with like my dad, sister, myself, my dad's wife,
Mm-hmm.
and potentially like my sister's boyfriend, depending. And we ultimately decided to do like a dinner for Easter. To see, it's possible my sister might not be able to join us because she got invited to her boyfriend's family's place for Easter stuff.
Yeah, you got a lot of
Um,
extended
and
family.
so I know that's where it starts to get involved a little more. We're not even it's not even that far. It's like it's like, but it's just we gotta incorporate more plans, and so we'll
Mm-hmm.
see. It'll probably be just a pretty chill time of just relaxing and enjoying each other's company. But yeah, that's really gonna be about it. Other
You
than that
baked a
though, so
pie for Thanksgiving, but you're not
well,
gonna make
yeah.
anything for Easter?
Well, it's different traditions, I guess, is the
Mm.
thing. Easter is typically like the time like like we have like ham and stuff,
Oh
but like
yeah,
I don't know, like
Easter
for
ham. Oh,
Thanksgiving,
so good.
yeah, yes, Easter ham is good. We've done roast beef too in the past, which is always fun.
Oh, my mom
Um,
makes a
but
banging roast beef.
mm,
I don't
is the
know.
bangiest.
It's the bangiest. It's that just slaps. I don't know what it is. My mom, between my mom and my grandma. Well, my grandma's
Hmm.
passed now, but like when obviously she used to cook.
Right.
But like there were specific things that like my mom and my grandmother were like really good at making, and my grandmother was really good at like making pies, and like
Mm.
she was really good at making, I don't know, like her corn tasted so different than my mom's corn, but it was like the same style. Like it was like
Uh,
just canned corn. And I was like, why does this taste so different? What are you doing, woman? But I don't know. My mom makes really good spaghetti and
hmm,
roast beef, and then my grandmother would make like amazing mashed potatoes and like an
mm,
apple pie and stuff like that. And it was just, I don't know. It was so
hmm,
good.
I
It's
getcha.
a little side tangent, sorry.
Yeah, oh, you're fine. I like hearing about different things that different families kind of have in their roster. I think it's more like with I think I mentioned this before to you. I don't know if I mentioned in the podcast, but like in my
Mm.
family, my dad was always the chef,
Oh
always
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
everything. Because my mom, she could do baking pretty well,
I
but like
love
she just
baking.
she didn't like being in the kitchen all that much. So she just was like, okay, sure,
Me.
you can take the cooking, dad. Like just do everything that's there. And he loved to cook anyway, so it made sense for our family dynamic. But that tradition's kind of maintained itself. So like my dad will be the one who will kind of prepare all the meals and the dishes when it comes to like holiday stuff. And then, with certain ones there's been sort of like niches that like I found or different people have kind of been like, oh yeah, I can do this. Like my sister, whenever we have mashed potatoes for Thanksgiving now, she's the one who makes them because she knows how to make them really well. I always make
Mm.
the pie. My dad will have the rolls that the recipe he got from his mom, and my mom
Like
will
bread
be,
rolls?
yeah, like yeast rolls.
Oh.
Honestly, his rolls are my favorite, and I'm still upset that as the years have gone by, he's tried to make them more like light and fluffy rolls. When I was a kid, they used to be like super dense rolls, but I love dense rolls when they're like nice and warm and like not gooey, but like they're kind of like fresh and like just like they stick together well. And I'm like, oh, these are
Mm-hmm.
so good.
The
But they've
gluten
changed a little
just
bit over the
pulls
years.
apart.
Yes, gluten. I love it so
Oh, I
much.
love gluten.
Yes. But yeah, I haven't really found something like that for Easter much. And I guess, and for me, ultimately, and this is where I can get me personal keynotes. Like Easter for me is less about like the food and family time. It's more about like what is Easter? What are we
Mm-hmm.
doing here? And since I'm a Christian, we celebrate. It's like yeah, Easter is the day we celebrate that Jesus rose from the dead is what
Yeah.
we believe, and
Oh, my
like that's the
grandfather's
focus.
religious. Or like he's not like religious, but like he goes to church and we've always gone to like Christmas sermons. Is that what they're
Yeah.
on like we'd go on Christmas Eve and then like Easter we would sometimes go and Easter was like maybe I'm misremembering, but like I'm pretty sure like at least the church did like fish, I think, and then we would have like an
Mm,
Easter ham. Oh my god, it's so good. In my humble and like Christian adjacent upbringing,
right.
um, it was ham for Easter and then turkey for Christmas and Thanksgiving because in Canada, Thanksgiving and Christmas are much farther apart, so you could get away with having
Right.
turkey in October and then again in December.
Yes.
But I
No, that
understand that
makes more
people like
sense.
don't always do turkey for Christmas because they do turkey on Thanksgiving because it's in November
Right.
and then like a month later they're like, I'm not gonna do turkey again. But
Yeah. No, it's a
yeah.
different sort of thing. But yeah, so it's like Easter I don't always think of like the same thing. So like it's funny, again, this is such a tangent. Sorry, I'm taking up this whole time with all this
No,
Easter shit.
no, go
But
ahead.
but when I like the last few years when I was still like doing church choir, because well, for one thing, as a kid, I used to never think I'd be part of a choir because I was like, choirs are so preachy and pretentious people. Like all of them are like, I know how to read sheet music, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the worst. Like high
Yeah.
school choir kids are the worst. Because they all think they're so much better than everybody else. At least in my opinion, which is a really hot take for me. But then like going into church, I was like, oh boy, is this gonna be the same thing? And some people are like that, but at the same time, like some people aren't. And for Easter, they would always have like a potluck that they'd have between services because we used to have 3 services for Easter, which would be really long, and the choir would be there for all 3. So after second service, there'd be like a little breakfast potluck that people would bring, and they would like make all these like casseroles of like just like
Ooh.
really nice stuff. Like actually, it's probably like if I had to make anything for Easter, that would be kind of like a cool thing. Is like just make like an egg casserole with like bread and like meats and stuff. Like that'd be fun to learn how to make something like that. That like has the stuff I like and not the stuff that other people are like. I'm gonna put in something really weird in here, like okra. And I'm like, why putting okra into an egg?
What is okra?
Okra's a vegetable that I hope. I mean, if anyone likes okra, again, you are welcome to
He's
love
judging
okra.
you, just so you know.
I just don't care for it. It's sort of like it's it's sort of like green beans, but not as sweet as them and larger and more like beany, in my opinion, and like a little more like mushroomy umami than green beans in my head. So not my favorite flavor profile by any means. But either way, all that's to say that
Hmm.
when I make a casserole, if I make a casserole, I want to be full of the things that I like and not just like the unusual things. So like, I'm gonna put this in. Like, let's just make a casserole that's just like potatoes and simple meat and eggs and maybe some like spinach or something. You're golden. Like that's gonna be great. Instead of it being like, I added 5 pounds of onions and this really weird mushroom. And then I also added in like fancy bread that's not got gluten in it, and I'm like, oh my
Hmm.
goodness, this is the worst. Or pasta salad. Pasta salad's also, ugh. I don't like pasta salad at all. Just like I don't like ranch dressing and a lot of other things
You
that
don't like
I'm
ranch dressing?
now whinging about. No, I do not like ranch dressing at all, which is a sin here in Illinois because everything has ranch
Bit.
associated with it. And it's like, yeah, no, I just do not like ranch dressing. I don't like
What
it's
the
there's
hell?
yeah, it's just
Side
not fun.
tangent. Caramel is laying on my lap and he is trying to bite my headphones. And every time I grab his paw lightly, I grab
Mhm.
his paw to move it away, he goes to bite my hand. Where do you get off biting me when I am trying to correct you from not biting? I'm just
Yeah.
holding his head right now and he's just like big chillin'.
She's like, okay, mother.
He's just hanging out. But yeah, so Easter prep, work, anything else? Anything?
I mean, other than streaming and doing things kind of regularly there, I'm like sad that Eden's over, but I'm also
Mm-hmm.
kind of excited because it means that now I can stream Genshin more or other games I want to play.
Literally
Um,
me.
like it's just like I can finally do other things, and it means that like you and I can finally start to like pick out more co-op games if we want to again because we'll have time in our schedule. So all
Yes.
that like all those TikToks that you found over like the
I
last few
know.
months, we can finally like
I
go
found
through and
more.
like play all
I
those
found more
games.
multiplayer games. I
There's
was like,
so
look at
many
these,
we
look
can
at these.
play.
I know. One of them was, I think one of them was free, but it's not out yet. Maybe I don't know.
Yes.
I
Well,
don't
there's
remember.
like so many like games that are similar to the We Were Here series that we did that I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I want to play these so bad.
More
Um,
puzzles.
I know we love puzzles, even when we're both like, we don't think about puzzles the same way, and we're like, this is really hard, but we also know how to communicate now, which is good. We've
That's true.
learned more.
It's really funny because we didn't talk about this too much on the Eden podcast, but I was trying to think of like puzzles that we did and We Were Here that I could emulate back into Minecraft because I'm
Oh,
like so bad at puzzle making and like you're so good at it because you have to do it for part of like as a part of your job and I'm just like I don't know. I just am so bad with puzzles and then I was like, what would We Were Here do? How would they make this?
yeah.
Caramel?
Well, no, because it's like
Stop it.
they know what's up. Well, and like, and even it was cool for those of you who haven't known this at all or don't watch our other content platforms.
Which
Mousy
you should,
recently
because what
did.
the hell?
Yes, exactly. But Grandma Mousy over here, Maddie, did a rebrand on her Twitch channel.
Don't
And with
say my
that,
name like that.
what?
Maddie.
Excuse me. Well,
This is
I
my
because
damn
I'm like,
name.
yeah, I know it is. I'm just like, I still like. It's like that feeling that like someone you know decides to go by like their real name after you've known them by their other name, and then you're like, but is it the same thing or is it not? I know you've said like you
Your
can still
stinky
call
real
you
name.
Mousy, but I'm like, what is? I just don't even know. But
I literally
but
just changed my name on Twitch because I didn't want it to be Mousy anymore. I had like this impulse thing to change it, and I might change it again, but it's currently Stinky Mads because I want to go like at least for Twitch, I want to do something that's more me. Like everything else is like mousy and it's like Minecraft
mhm.
related and it's like blah 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 blah. Like I just want to I want it to be more based on me. So I changed
Yeah.
it to Stinky Mads, but I might change it to JK Mads or Is Mads later because I don't know if
Mm.
I'm vibing with the whole stinky thing. I might but I've updated every like pretty much everything. Like
Yeah.
I made everything more available, less subscriber based. I want to just like be able to stream when I want to stream. And I side tangent, I should have fucking done it
Mhm.
yesterday because I literally played Stardew Valley for 10 hours yesterday and I could have got a 10-hour stream in and that would have been like really good content and I just didn't.
Yeah.
But again, at the same time, play devil's advocate against myself.
Mhm.
That was me time. I was in my
Yeah.
enrichment zone.
Exactly. You don't like even I've been guilty of that too sometimes where even like I'll be like I need to stream this content because I feel a need to do it. Like even yesterday, I streamed Genshin for an hour just so I could pull on the banner
I
because I'm like
saw
I have to make
that.
this content now. And like it's like do I really need to do that every time just so I can make content of it? Like what's the point? Like I mean obviously we enjoy hanging out with people who come to our streams and it's a social
Yeah.
time. But like sometimes we also just don't want to socialize. Like I'm an introverted person, so for me, making time for other people is extra effort. So even
Yeah.
if people are like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" Sometimes I'm like, no, I just want to sit here on my computer and like stare and watch memes for like 2 hours and then and then not do
Me.
anything. And but anyways, all this was to say that
Mhm.
Mousy recently started because you got some emulated games that you can play now on your
Yes.
stream. And
Uh-huh.
so I was really it was cool watching you play Zelda because Zelda games are also notorious for having tons of puzzles and mechanics in them as well.
I'm
Um
already I barely even made it to the main castle. Like I'm about to move on to like the mountain area if you've played Ocarina of Time and I want to cry. The controls and the puzzles are so easy, but like I just don't know what I'm doing.
yeah,
But continue,
no.
sorry.
But yes, so I think it's cool that you're getting to expose yourself to more puzzles because that's also where like I got a lot of my inspiration from the olden days is like how do these puzzles go in this way and how they function because
Mm,
it's all like crafty little things or collection games, which you'll
that
find a
makes
lot
sense.
in Ocarina of Time. There's gonna be a lot of games where it's like, can you help me find my pigeons? Yeah, I have 8 of them. Please help me. And you'll be like,
I'm so
oh,
excited.
So,
Please.
but yes, but anyways, that's all I'll say. That's all that though. So that's my life. It's just been normalcy after normalcy. It's April. It's April,
Yeah,
and I'm like, ah. But
it's April already.
yeah,
We're 4 months in to the year,
I
and
know.
like
It's like
it feels like
just
Christmas was
make.
like just yesterday.
I know it does. Um, and I don't know. It just makes you realize again that as you get older, if you're younger than 20, I say that you don't realize how quickly time goes by until you start getting slightly older, and
Mm-hmm.
then the years just blur by because you've had enough time in your life to realize that all of it's just the same anyway, and you're like, it's just all the same stuff, and it happens
Same.
over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So it's just
Gosh.
like it just is. But yeah,
Just
anyways, enough
is.
about me. What have you been up to, Grandma? What's
Oh,
your life been like the last 2 weeks?
oh, don't you know? Recordings, editing. I'm still chugging away at this big edit that Alan gave me. For those of you who don't know who Alan is, he is one of my clients. He goes by Geef on Twitch, and he is a partnered streamer, and I do his YouTube content. And he's got another
Mm.
editor for his shorts, so I do like the more long form, haha, funny content.
Mm.
But I don't even have all the footage yet. It is like I can't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't know what I'm allowed to talk about. He's talked about it a bit on stream. So actually, he's talked about it on stream. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. But he's doing an overhaul Project Zomboid,
Mm.
and it is so in depth, but not at the same time. And there's just a lot of like, it's a lot of finding footage, and I think that's what I struggle with the most. Like, I talked to Kano about this, but like, I am really good at taking a video and cutting it down. I could take a 50-minute video and cut it down to 15, 20 minutes maybe, and I could make it really like funny, entertaining, haha, like bunch of sound effects, bunch of like funny cuts, like that kind, like very much emphasizing someone's humor. But
Mm-hmm.
finding footage, like skimming through, literally, not hyperbolizing, like 9-hour streams to
Yeah.
find specific moments that's just filler footage too. Like trying to
Right.
find filler footage or footage to go underneath graphics and stuff like that actually makes sense and pertain to what he's talking about in the current moment. That's taking me a while. And so I've done 3 sections of what I believe will be about 5, and the video is about what is it at? I think it's at like 12 minutes, and I've done like 9 of those minutes, and it's not, he hasn't
Mm.
even finished giving me the footage yet. Like there's still more footage and more VO that is to come. It's going to be like a 20-minute video, but like it's so in depth, and I'm just like, I try to crack away at it. I say that as I also mentioned literally 2 minutes ago about how I played Stardew Valley for 10 hours yesterday. But in my
Yeah.
defense, I am mentally ill. So
But like that, but that's also like sometimes I've had to learn this, and my mom will be the first to be like, "You need to do this for your own health." But like, take time to be like we
I
get
know.
ourselves, especially in our society and culture, to push ourselves so hard to always be doing something, and sometimes it's like just take time for yourself because even when you've got deadlines, and it sounds like fortunately you have Alan who's very flexible with the time and
Oh
understanding
my
how it
god,
needs to be.
he's a,
Um,
a blessing. I love him very much. I sent him that ADHD poster that I sent in the Discord
oh,
the other day, and he
yeah.
was just like, I was like, this is why videos take long because I get ADHD paralysis. He's like, oh honey, it's okay. I haven't even sent you all the footage yet. You're fine. Like, don't even worry about it. Like he's very patient, and because he knows that like I am trying to be a perfectionist and make it as best as I can. And I completely agree. I do agree with the fact that like you need to take time for ourselves. You need to make sure that like you're relaxing, but you're also like being productive. But I get like I harp on myself so much because when I do relax, I'm not truly relaxing because in those moments, that 2 hours or a couple hours that I have in the evening that I've given myself, I'm not truly relaxing because I'm so worried about what I need to work on next, or what I need to get done, or the fact that I'm not getting this done, which means I'm not making money, and I should be doing something in this time that I'm quote unquote relaxing to do money, so that I'm not truly resting and I'm not truly recharging because I'm so stressed and worried about the next thing. So like I think yesterday was a good me time, but as soon as I was done it, I put this on my private Twitter, which no, none of you can have. I'm gonna say that right now. But like,
Not even me.
no, you can have it. I meant like
I know.
viewers. But it was just like I instantly, and like I got off my computer, like I hung out with Gabe for like maybe an hour as I finished up my things and he started stream. I got
Right.
off stream and I instantly was just like, I shouldn't have played Stardew for 10 hours because I should have gotten my shit done instead. Why are you like this? Why did you do that? Why did you just waste the day away? You're never going to get anything done. You're never going to accomplish anything. And it was just this big like negative circle.
Right,
that
your
I've,
brain
like,
just hitting on you.
yeah.
hard.
And just, I don't know. I don't want to chalk it up all to mental health because I am not officially diagnosed with ADHD, but oh my God, bitch, there's so many symptoms that point towards having ADHD. And it sucks that like I can't get diagnosed because it's so expensive.
Right.
So I don't know. I might like, I was talking about it on my stream that I might actually need to, I might start like a donation thing because Caramel and Salem have big vet appointments coming up and I might need some help with it. Because so Caramel, obviously he's about 9, or he's gonna be turning 9 or 10 this year.
Wow.
So he's an early senior, and you laugh, but like,
no, I know, but just I get it though.
snoring
This
in
is
my
exactly
arm
what I refer
right
to
now.
Ranger all the time. It's just like they get old and they're like, I'm an old man now, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, you're literally a cat.
Literally. So he's so funny. He's literally snoring right now. But so Salem has to go in for a normal appointment. He's got to get his updated shots because he turns 1 year this month.
Oh.
And I got to switch his food, and I got to pick up food. Their food total for a bag of dry food that they're both going to be eating, a case of Caramel's prescription food, and 2 cases of non-prescription weight control food for Salem because he's a little chonker, is going to be like $250 almost.
Oh wow.
And then I also have to pay for his appointment, which could be anywhere from $150 to $200. And then that's just for Salem and their food. Caramel has to go in and get blood work done because they recommend getting blood work when he hits early senior because then you can get like a jump start on any like issues or like health issues or anything like that. But I was talking to the lady and I was explaining like how he acts and how he is, and she was like, honestly, those all sound like arthritis. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, like his ears are quite dirty. Like normally I don't have to like help Caramel with grooming at all, but I'm gonna probably have to start helping him. But because like he's slowed down on grooming, he's like 10 times more grumpy now. He's like, him and Salem never bonded. They never get along. He's meticulous about how he jumps up onto things. He's meticulous about where he like lays down. I noticed that maybe this is just me picking up on it, but like I notice he does he only lays in comfortable spots. So he'll lay on the back of the couch, or he'll lay on my body pillow, or he'll lay on me because I'm squishy. But he never lays anywhere that's hard. Like he'll never just lie down on the floor. Which he used to. He used to, like, when he also doesn't play as much anymore. When he does play, he kind of just swats at it. He doesn't run around or do anything. Like, Salem keeps him active because Salem chases him around the house. But, like, he's slowing down. And she said that it might be arthritis because that might explain why he's more grumpy because he's in a little bit of pain. And He's more meticulous about where he jumps because he's sore, and like I don't notice any inflamed joints. Not that he would let me touch him.
Mm.
But that's another thing is that so he wouldn't like me touching certain areas of his body regardless. But now when I
Mm-hmm.
do, if I do it for too long, he gets nasty.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, he's just old. He's just getting grumpy. He's also like, I introduced a new cat. After like right after he had like kind of a traumatizing vet appointment. So like, I mean, I kind of was an asshole and did that to him, but I don't know. It might be arthritis.
Yeah, it's
So,
definitely not a bad guess. I mean, I know Ranger, my family's dog, he had gotten there was this one point in time where we really thought he was like done. Because he wasn't moving around very much. He
mhm.
was like clearly sitting down and it like hurt him every time he tried to get up. So he just laid down and sat the whole time. We're like, what is going on? Like, is this like horse syndrome where he just is gonna like go and we're like
Mhm.
because he can't walk? Um, and then we found out that it was
Horse
just probably
syndrome.
well, that's in my head, like, that's what it thought of
Sorry.
it being is like,
I
you
know.
know
Yeah, like if a horse lies down, like you probably should call the vet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but basically we took him to the vet and they're like, "No, he just got arthritis, he's just gotten old." They gave him some pain meds
Oh.
to get over, like, the hump of whatever was going on, and then
Mhm.
immediately after that, he was behaving like he normally was. He just had a really bad arthritis flare.
Oh
That
no.
lasted like
Okay.
about a week. So it's like
Oh.
it's definitely possible, and it's definitely something that pets deal with as they get old, and they get older so much faster than we do because their lifespan's so much shorter.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I definitely um I hope it's not that. I hope he doesn't have any medical issues, but I'd rather find out now than in a couple years and be like, he was in pain that whole time. Because he could
Yeah,
be in pain right now and I can't tell because he can't tell me. Um,
exactly.
but yeah, his behavior has been a little bit different too. Like, he'll now in the morning he jumps up on the counter,
Mhm.
and he wants me to carry him downstairs.
Oh.
He can still climb the stairs. Like he still does it. Like I don't do it every morning, but most mornings I'll go and like sit on the toilet and I'll like Salem will come in, he'll rub up on my legs and cry at me because he's hungry. And then Caramel will jump up on the counter and he'll sit and wait for me to brush my teeth. And then when I'm done brushing my teeth, I pick him up, I give him a stretch. Like I pick him up under his arms and I like stretch out his shoulders,
Yeah.
which he loves. And then I
Hmm.
carry him downstairs. And he just he's such a I just look down at him and he looks so funny. I'll try and take a picture of him, but um he yeah, he's just really funny.
He's
Um
being his sweet bean self.
he's being a sweet pea. I'll send you the photo. But yeah, so honestly, it might be arthritis, but that bill, they said the blood work is going to be $319.
Mm.
So I'm looking at like $700 if not more in vet
Right.
bills up in the next month.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's where I'm sitting right now. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I've just been trying to find work and balance stuff. I really, unfortunately, and I was trying to be good about it in the first couple of months, but something happened. Nothing detrimental, so don't anyone worry or fret. Um, but it took a big toll on like my mental health, so I kind of got set back in the regards of trying to work on my mental health, trying to be happier, trying to like I don't know, do things that make me happy or like just stuff. I don't know. I was just trying to do stuff, but like I was trying to get a better like routine of things. I have like a whole list on my phone of like stuff that I want to accomplish this year. Haven't really
Mm.
touched it. Um, so yeah,
I
I
get you.
might. I'm gonna try and kick myself into doing that, but I put the photo of Caramel in images, and I can put
I
him up.
see.
I can put it up on
He's
the
so cute.
thing for anyone watching on YouTube. That's what he currently looks like. So he's so sweet.
Oh my goodness! And then I just see Matt typing.
Matt typing.
Vigorously.
He's so cute, but yeah, that's been my life. Glad we could catch up though. Sorry for taking a lot of time, guys, but we haven't really like talked.
Yeah, we've been
a
busy.
bit, yeah. But we can move forward into tea time, which we can try and make
news.
brief. Yeah, other people's news.
Trust me, it's super easy. We'll just be like, we'll just list it and be like, yeah, that happened. Okay, next one. Next one.
Next.
Okay, yeah.
I'm literally gonna do that with the movies. I can start with the movies now.
Do it.
But so some fun things that are coming back. Some things in the movie world that are very interesting and fun is obviously the Super Mario Bros. Movie just came out.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that critics weren't rating it very well, but audiences were.
That seemed to be the synopsis of that whole debacle.
Yeah. And so Jack Black apparently confirms that School of Rock is going to have a 20th anniversary. That is correct. You heard me correctly. 20th anniversary. I feel very old. If you haven't watched School of Rock, it's really good. You should.
Yes.
Yeah, they're gonna do an anniversary like similar to how Harry Potter had their anniversary.
It's so wacky.
Oh my
so
God.
wacky.
Just Jack Black and Miranda Cosgrove in the same room again.
Yeah.
So good. I'm so excited for it.
Which, by the way, I'm not sure. Are you watching The Mandalorian right now?
I'm not, but I don't know. I very much like Pedro Pascal, so I might pick it up.
Yes, because you should. Because I mean, it won't be a spoiler that really matter too much. But like, Jack Black had a cameo role in this week's last episode, and it was, and he like it just for me, it just expanded on it because me and Ariel were just talking the other day. Ariel's one of our voice actor friends. We were just talking the other day about how like we think Jack Black is so much more versatile of an actor than Chris Pratt, and then literally. I go in The Mandalorian, I just see Jack Black being a character that's so different than like what I'd expect. Like I would think of him being, even though he can pull it off well. And I was just like, "Yep, Jack Black in Star Wars."
Well, you remember that conversation that we had about like eras of actors, where like actors would be in a specific amount of movies? That is literally happening with Anna Taylor-Joy. Is that her name? Anya Taylor-Joy?
Oh, yeah.
She's literally in fucking everything right now. She's in, like, I mean, the movies probably came out, but, like, in regards to, like, popularity, like, old movies are coming back up of this person. So, like, she's in The Menu. She was in the Super Mario Bros. And a couple other movies that just recently came out where she was, like, a main character in it. And, like, I feel like it's her era, and then like maybe Jack Black's era is coming back. Maybe
he's good.
This is his way of like getting back into the realm of things.
Yeah, I don't know. Like sometimes you just see those actors coming up over and over and over and over again, and it's just like, oh man, they really they go for it. But as long as like Ariel said, as long as they don't touch the Jennifer Lawrence territory where they're in everything, then hopefully they won't get burnt out. Hopefully, of acting completely.
I hope so. But so I've only seen, to side tangent of The Mandalorian, I've only seen the original Star Wars 6.
Okay.
Do I need to watch anything else for The Mandalorian to get context? Do I need to watch any of the newer movies?
You don't, but they do especially like in this season, they've been starting to kind of like hint at things that are to come in the sequel movies. So if you have seen them, you can understand where that scope is coming from. But as someone who personally despises the sequel trilogy, I don't think it's necessary
the one with
to watch.
Rey and like, what the hell is his name?
Poe and
what's the evil guy's name?
Snoke or no, Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren. Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to watch. Honestly, I want to watch them just for Kylo Ren because
Adam Driver.
His voice, I don't know what He is. I don't know what he does to his voice when it comes to Kylo Ren, but like honestly,
I am Adam Driver. I'm like the Morgan Freeman of white people.
I can take what I want. Oh God, take me to the bedroom, baby.
Oh my goodness. Mousie.
I'm sorry.
Get your act together.
Literally me earlier with Matthew Lillard. Guys, look at his tongue. No, I don't know. I want to watch them just for Adam Driver, but like, I don't. Do I need them for? I guess I don't need them for Mandalorian.
No, you do not. You do not need them.
Well, that is good to know.
Yes.
Because I want to watch The Mandalorian, obviously, because I know that it's good, and I know a little certain spoilers. By the way, a little Ewan McGregor might pop up again. I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
God, and what the hell is his name? Christian. Who's Darth Vader?
Oh, you're talking about Oh man, This is a real embarrassing moment for me. Hayden Christensen, you're close.
Hayden Christensen. Okay, that's right.
How could I forget his name off the top of my head? That's a real shame of mine.
Kano, don't. It's fine. I'm gonna just give a little PSA because that just reminded me of something. Because women, no, because women get this all the time. Women aren't allowed to have hobbies and aren't allowed to like things even casually, and I think we should normalize liking things casually. Like I can say that I like watching football, but I don't need to know what the quarterback of every goddamn fucking NFL team there is to exist ever. I'm allowed to just watch the game and be like, oh yeah, this is basic knowledge. And like, I should be allowed to ask questions. Like, doesn't it feel good when you like something and then you show it to someone and they're engaged and they like watching it too and they're asking questions about it and you can talk about your favorite thing? Does that not feel better than going to someone and be like, you're wearing a Led Zeppelin t-shirt? Oh, name 6 of their albums. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. So, a little PSA. So, Kano, do not feel bad about not remembering a name of something that you like. Because I like Star Wars casually. Mm-hmm. I watched the movies and went, wow, I like these characters. I don't mind this story. I went into this thinking that, I'm going to be very forthright. I grew up being like, oh, Star Wars is for, like, nerds and guys. And then I became a nerd. And then... Now I'm like, oh wait, I'm gonna watch it. Oh, I actually like this. But I don't know the ins and outs of it. And you're allowed to casually like things. I'm just gonna say that.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. The one thing that you're not allowed to like is FNAF.
I'm
kidding. I'm kidding. Just moving on to other movies that are coming out. The Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, it is one. Yeah,
it is. Mm-hmm. Five Nights at Freddy's movies is wrapped on filming and has gone into post-production and is apparently said to release October 27th. Now, where I saw this from, I'm gonna like fact check it. If they mean this year, that's only like 5 or 6 months for post-production, which doesn't seem like a lot of time in my very expertise knowledge of movie making. Like
it does seem like it's coming along very quickly.
Yeah, so I'm worried that they're gonna fast track post production, and it's just unless they did so much filming and like pre-production work that they don't need to do a lot of post production work, like special effects and CGI and stuff like that. Like, I'm very curious to know if it's like practical effects or if it's like, I mean, it'll be obvious if it's really bad CGI, but that's just like, I'm hoping that it's good, despite me being an avid FNAF hater. I hope that it's good.
Yeah, I think it should be all right. At least it's got good people at its helm and people who are involved, so I think that'll help it a little bit.
Yeah. I hope so too. And wrapping back around to the Super Mario Bros, because we mentioned it briefly as one of the examples. So Super Mario Bros just came out. I know everyone's talking about it. I'm sorry. We're gonna talk about
Mhm.
it too because we're trendy like that. Um,
Yeah.
but a little fun fact about it is that grossed. It so far has grossed over $60 million worldwide in box office revenue.
Wow.
30 million within I believe either the States or all of North America, and then internationally it has grossed another 34. So
It's
30
not bad.
65 million is not bad for a movie. Um
Yes.
and but what I think is interesting is that the I'm gonna butcher his name. John Louisiamo? The Jusium? I can't pronounce his last name. Um
Hmm.
he he played Luigi in the first adaptation of Super Mario Bros. In 1993, and he I use the term boycotting because is it really boycotting if it's one person?
Right.
But he plans to boycott the movie, um, aka go against it, will not be supporting it.
Right.
Because and I feel like this is like an ongoing thing that happened when they announced Chris Pratt to be the lead. Is that like why would you not like why is he so whitewashed? Like why would you not cast like a Latin American or Latin what is it? Latin Spanish? Or no, I'm probably saying that wrong. Someone who's not American, just Spanish. Just a Spanish person. A
Yeah.
Latino, whatever. I don't know the terms.
Mhm.
I'm bad. Please educate me. Um and he he had said they could have included a Latin character like a I was groundbreaking and then it was groundbreaking and then they stopped the groundbreaking. They messed up the inclusion, they disincluded. Just cast some Latin folk. We're 20% of the population, the largest people of color group, and we are underrepresented.
Mhm.
And I think it's very interesting that he says that he's not going to go see the movie because of the underrepresentation of people of color. And then Seth Rogen, of all people, turns around and goes, yeah, the 1993 movie was the worst movie ever made.
Right.
He told Variety that or he told sorry, not Variety. He told I think it was Entertainment um that he was excited to see the 1993 movie when it came out, and he was like, no, this is shit. This movie's shit.
Mm.
So it's very interesting, very conflicting opinions going on, especially between um viewers and critics, because critics are voting it very low and viewers are rating it very high. So
Mm.
it's very interesting side of things, to say the least. And lastly, for movies, well, not for movies, but movies slash musicals. I thought of something. A fun fact that I saw was that apparently Wicked, the musical, um,
Mhm.
will play its 7,486th performance on Tuesday, April 11th. So yesterday, when
Yeah.
you're listening to this, and it will surpass Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats and become the fourth longest running production on The Great White Way.
Finally. Please and thank you.
So I just think that's really interesting. I have never seen Wicked in theater, and I really want to.
Mhm.
But that's just crazy to me that almost 7,500, like 15 or 14 more shows, and it'll hit 7,500.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shows.
It's a lot of shows. And a lot of casts too that have been able to take part and be in that show, but like
Mm-hmm.
to reach that level of like it's weird I guess because we grew up with Wicked, so it's harder
Mm-hmm.
for us to imagine a world without it existing.
Yeah.
But like Wicked's still super new when you think about the scope of like musicals and the genre.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like it's only been around for the last not even 30 years. and it's already quickly risen to this position of being so famous that it's beating out musicals that have been around for a lot longer, and with good reason too.
Yeah.
So it's like, so it's just, yeah, it's cool to think that Wicked's at that level, and its streak already, that it's reached such high heights, um, with Showtime and people understanding and appreciating it as a show.
Hmm. You can guarantee me and my sister were belting Defying Gravity at the top of our lungs, um, in our room when we were younger, and I feel bad for my mom's ears, but like it's just, that shit. That song is so good, so good.
Yeah.
That and anything from Moulin Rouge.
Mhm.
I remember specifically watching Moulin Rouge like 2 or 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah, which Ewan McGregor was also in.
Oh, yes, I know.
That's
Man is
Obi-Wan
talented.
Kenobi.
He's more than just a Jedi. Can you
He's
believe it?
more than just a Jedi. That I love that. This is a very good TikTok. That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. um yeah, so that's fun fact for movies. I guess a quick fun fact for games is obviously Resident Evil 4 remake came out. I have currently been watching Jacksepticeye play through it, and I never watched the original, but he's been commenting on things that are different. And they've seemed to have changed a lot from the original Resi 4.
Mm,
And then also Overwatch 2 is entering their 4th season, and they're getting a new
yeah.
character.
Life
Woo!
Weaver.
Yeah, they're actually really, really cool. I will link below their hero gameplay trailer, but there's a lot of, so obviously the within the realm of Overwatch, you definitely always need more variety when it comes to healers. But everyone is
Yes.
saying that he's like a new trolley hero. Like there's so much troll potential.
Oh, totally.
Because one of his things is that you can like pull people towards you. So you could just like pull people off the map. And people are saying that they're going to troll their teammates, not the other team. Like one of the top comments on his gameplay video is can't wait to pull my teammates off the map with me. Thank you, Blizzard Entertainment. Someone else says, I like that they're giving a lot more ways to support teammates other than heals and buffs, even if these abilities are easy to grief teammates with. So a lot of people are saying that they are going, like, it's got a lot of potential to be toxic. If you play Overwatch, please don't do that. Because if I'm playing Overwatch and I get yeeted off the map from my own Life Weaver, I'm gonna be real sad. I'm gonna cry. I'm not gonna be happy about it. Kato, you don't play a lot of Overwatch, but what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I think I mean, I always am a huge, I love whenever there's support characters added to a game ever.
That's true.
And so just the fact that we're getting another support in a game that, Overwatch has definitely become like, it is I feel like the best known, like outside of like CS:GO, like FPS store, like team play title now.
Yeah.
And so like, even you got Valorant obviously, but I think Overwatch still has kind of a bit more history than it, because it's lasted around longer and so has more of a name with it.
Valorant is more of like a not glorified. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a prettyified, yassified, if you will, version of CS:GO with like ult abilities, and then Overwatch has like, it's more like defending. It's more like versus, like two teams versus each other versus like two teams versus each other with an element of like with a goal that you need to accomplish, like move the payload. Like you just got to stand on the payload and make sure that you're escorting it to a certain area, but you as the player don't have to do anything actively other than fight the other team, is what I'm trying to say. So I don't know. I don't know what you would classify Overwatch as. Um, but I don't know. It's fun when it's not toxic.
Yes. No,
Which most
definitely.
games are.
That is the only, like, again, like you mentioned, that is probably going to be the thing that unfortunately you can't get away from, especially in a game like Overwatch, where people will troll regardless because they feel a need to.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you've got a character who can elevate your teammates and bring them to places they would not be able to go, people are going to do that deliberately on purpose so much.
Oh yeah.
But that's just how it was for literally any other character. Like, you have to kind of take what you can with it. So I think it'll be cool. I know some people I know of are very, very excited about this edition. And I think it's a worthwhile choice. I think it's a cool character and he's got a cool design. Like, I have no real complaints. I think it's gonna be fun.
And apparently he is the first well, obviously, I will preface that like the sexualities and sexual preferences of all the characters are like, I feel like most of them are headcanons unless otherwise stated by like
Correct.
Overwatch. But apparently he's pansexual, which I know a lot of people. I know a few people in my community specifically are very excited about that representation as well. So
Mm.
I feel like Overwatch, and I could be wrong, has been okay. I don't want to say great because I know like they've definitely had to be bullied into more representation, but like they're pretty okay with representation of ethnicities and sexuality and sexual preferences and stuff like that.
Yes.
And even hinting at like little like romantic flirty lines and stuff between characters. So
Yes.
yeah. And I guess we can move on to the last topic that we have here before moving on to the should I be scolded segment.
Yes.
Which I am very excited for. Which I'm sure a lot of you have seen on your timeline, potentially. I don't know. But NASA is planning another trip to the moon. Woo!
Moon.
So I'm gonna read a little blurb, but I have the full article. You can go read it, it'll be linked below. But Artemis 2 is NASA's first mission with crew aboard their foundational deep space rocket, the Space Launch System, and Orion spacecraft, and it will confirm all spacecraft systems operate as designed with crew aboard in the actual environment of deep space. This mission will pave the way for lunar surface missions, included by the first woman and first person of color, and I will also add in there the first Canadian.
Hey,
let's go! Establishing long-term lunar science and exploration capabilities and inspire the next generation of explorers. This translunar injection burn will send the astronauts on an outbound trip for about 4 days, taking them around the far side of the moon, where they will ultimately create a figure eight extending more than 230,000. Right? Am I saying that right? Miles from Earth?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. It's going to be a 10-day mission. So obviously 4 days there, 4 days back, and then
238,000.
Yeah. And then they have like 2 days in between where they'll actually be up there. It is to test the Orion systems, which I believe that I have read is the first steps to getting to Mars. I think the Orion system is to help it's supposed to secure like life form long space travel. So instead of just like quick 1 week trips, it's a test to see if they can sustain long trips, like multiple, like potentially months, which will then potentially turn into years. I don't know the exact specifics of how long it would take to get to Mars, but from the things that I was looking at and the way that they're going to do it is I think that they're going to they gotta like go up and then like circle around the Earth like once or twice to like get out of like get in the gravitational pull of the Earth, and then they're gonna like
Right.
shoot themselves out of the gravitational pull so that they can go towards the moon. Um, I watched a Stephen Colbert interview where they talked about how they are testing this out so that they can send a different team of like researchers up onto the moon so that they can collect and test out any ice found on the dark side of the moon so that they can try and take, I think they want to, my understanding of it is they want to use the ice as a fuel system to like go to Mars with.
That would be kind of cool.
It's very cool because like Mars is said to be the next sustainable planet next to Earth. But it just didn't have water. But they might be able to find water
Right, but
if they
do
can
that.
go there. If they can go to Mars with a sustainable water source and fuel source, then they could go to Mars and do research on it.
Yeah.
Because you can't go to a planet and stay there for months on end with doing research when you have no water. Because unfortunately, as humans, we need water to survive.
Indeed, and it uses for fuel, like you said. So
yeah,
it's
and
like
for fuel.
Got multiple facets.
Yeah, so I think it's very interesting that it's said to launch next year in November, but it's very interesting to think that in the next 10 years, 5 to 10 years, we could be on Mars, like
Yes.
actively researching it, if not consistently going there, and it would be steam powered.
Right.
Very steampunk era. Industrial era. Like I don't know, I'm very excited. I am also very like excited for like the strives that they're taking and the inclusivity that they are doing, because the negative side of things, because I always look at the negative, it's very sad that it took them till 2023 to be able to send a person of color to the moon and a woman to the moon. Like, I'm pretty sure we got our rights back in like the 60s, 70s. Why is it taking so long for someone of a person of color and someone born with not male parts to be sent to the moon, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm just very excited that the first Canadian is going to be going to the moon, because represent Canada, woo! Because normally NASA is an American company, so it's very interesting that they've. I'm sure they're like
with Canada.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily collaborated or if it's that this astronaut specifically. I think he's a mission coordinator. I don't know if he is like full blown Canadian or he would be full blown Canadian. But what I mean is like if he's coming from Canada or if it's been like a thing where like he has a dual citizenship or like he's like on a visa at NASA and they're like, yeah, you're amazing, we're gonna send you. I don't know why they're doing it, but I would hope that it's just because he's the best.
Right.
So I don't know, I'm very excited. Science stuff always interests me, so that'll definitely be something I watch, because the last time that we went to the moon was in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
I feel
Pretty
like
crazy to
there's
think
been
about.
trips to the moon, but I don't know if anyone has. I could be wrong. Let me know if I am wrong in the comments. Again, educate me. But I'm pretty sure we haven't been to the moon since the 60s, which is really cool. Which is something that I'm definitely going to watch, because I obviously wasn't able to watch it in the 60s.
Right, exactly.
I was not alive.
You weren't? What?
My parents hadn't even been born yet.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm just really excited for that.
Yeah.
Science stuff is cool.
It is. Science rules, like Bill Nye the Science Guy
Science
once
rules.
said.
Oh my gosh, I saw a thing where it was a TikTok and it was like, when Bill Nye dies, science dies too.
Oh. I mean, I
And
think we still
honestly,
got quite a bit of time before that's gonna happen,
yeah, no,
fortunately,
he's got like
but
another like 15 years on him. You're good.
at least, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Love that guy. He's pretty
What a
cool.
legend.
If you don't, there, I feel like maybe there might be some people who don't know who he is.
It's very possible. But like if you were born in the, 90s, 2000s era, you probably are familiar with Bill Nye the Science Guy because
Yeah.
he was a
He's a
basically
staple of
like
science class.
yes, pretty much. But it's always kind of funny because he's like televised science teacher almost in some ways, where he would take science concepts and apply them in a television format, almost like Alton Brown but for science.
Hmm.
Um, and so he's legendary, and now it's funny, he's very woke, I feel like, in my opinion, nowadays.
Yeah.
But that's just, I think, how most celebrities are going to be in general. But he's a pretty cool dude. He still likes science, and that's what's important.
I like him very much.
Good
He's a
choice.
cool dude. We're gonna move on to our should I be a scolded section.
Ba ba ba.
No, one of them's been removed.
How dare they? Don't they know we use these for a very important podcast?
One of them was Easter themed. Now I'm sad. Okay,
Man,
well,
can't believe people ruin our podcast this way. How dare
scratch
they?
that. We have two.
Yay, two.
The first one, you can pick which one you'd like to do. Is should I be scolded for getting a tattoo I knew my husband wouldn't like? Or should I be scolded for wanting my brother to come to my wedding? I think they might have meant for not wanting him to come to my wedding.
Perhaps, because we'll find out.
Yeah, I think they meant to say not wanting my brother to come to the wedding.
I mean, here, I'm curious. Let's start with that one. That's I think a solid intrigue. Now you've got me caught. I want to know what happens. Why?
Okay, so I'm going to read this as best I can, but I feel like it's a broken English. So,
ooh, my favorite.
I, 27 male, am getting married to the love of my life, Kev, 37 male, in just a few weeks. We're both very excited, but unfortunately, there's already a problem. You see, my younger brother John, 24 male, is married to a woman named Rose, 29 female, who is severely ill. John has never told us what's wrong with her, but whenever we see her, she's ghostly pale and always throwing up. It's really quite concerning. She's sick.
Yeah.
The problem is that our wedding is in Maine and John lives in Florida. We offered to pay for his ticket to come up for the wedding, but I really don't want to invite Rose. I know that might sound cruel, but her illness makes me uncomfortable. And I don't want people looking or talking about her during my big day. When I told John about my decision, he got upset and that if Rose isn't allowed to come, he won't come either. My fiance Kev thinks John is being selfish, and I have to admit, I agree. But my mom says that if John doesn't leave Rose, I should... What? Wait, hold on. Why are we leaving her?
What?
My fiance Kev thinks John is being selfish, and I have to admit that I agree. But my mom says that if John doesn't leave Rose, I should just drop saying that John paid over $80 for the wedding funds while my contribution was much smaller. That's it.
Okay. That's
oh my gosh.
That's wow. That's so descriptive. Wow.
The beginning part was like, yeah, okay, I'm following the story, and the last paragraph just lost me.
It's like, huh?
I told my brother not paying for his wife's ticket. It will affect my relationship with him for the foreseeable future, is what a moderator has like broken it down to.
Okay. Oh, they're like, okay, we'll step in. We'll get this sorted out for you. Don't you worry.
It's called the judgment bot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if that's the scenario, my initial thinking is I probably I mean, I don't exactly quite side with the mom, but I do feel like it's like, okay, if it's your wedding, you have the choice of whether or not you want to invite someone or not. But I also think you can't be mad at someone for choosing to not go to your wedding if someone else chose not to be invited. Like, they have their own choice in whether they decide to go or not either. You can't just say, I'm not going to invite this person. And then if there's someone they're close to, expect them to just get over it and go along with it.
Yeah.
Like if like for some reason, like this is again super hypothetical, this would never happen. But like if my sister got married and decided I don't want to invite my mom to the wedding, would I feel comfortable going? Maybe, maybe not. I might say I don't want to go anymore if mom's not going to be there. And then Abby,
Mm-hmm.
my sister would be like, well, and it's like, I mean, but that's also my choice. Like I can make that choice if I want to go to the wedding or not. Like she can't force me to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what I'm of the opinion that's like that. I don't think anyone should be forced to go to a wedding if they don't want to. But I also think the person who's in the party has the right to say whether or not they want the wife or the girlfriend to be there.
Yeah, like you can invite whoever you want to your wedding, but like you can't be mad when you like don't invite someone's spouse and then that person doesn't come. Like you can't be like, yeah, you can come, but your wife can't. It's like,
And
okay,
then
then
get
I'm
mad
gonna
about it.
yeah, okay, then I'm gonna stay home with my wife because I don't want to go without her. Have a lovely time. And they go, that you're being selfish. Like
How rude. My wedding.
you're being selfish because you don't want my chronically ill wife at your wedding because it'll take away from your big day.
Yeah.
I never want to have a freaking wedding. People are so cuckoo when it comes to this shit. Like, who
Yes.
fucking cares? Like, my biggest thing is that I probably wouldn't have kids at my wedding if I were to ever get married and have one. But that's just because like kids are annoying. But if I say
True.
like it's a no kid zone and you don't want to go because your kids aren't going, that's fine. I'm not going to call you selfish because of it. I'm not inviting a part of your like people from your family to come to my wedding. Of course I'm going to understand if you want to stay home. I would really like you to be there and for you to potentially get a babysitter, but I understand if that's not financially viable or like just physically
Right.
possible, like understandable. I would not be mad. Like if
Mhm.
I'm going to set rules for my wedding and you don't want to follow them or if you don't want to come because you don't fall into them, then like why are you getting mad? The fact that the fiance
Right.
was like, they're being selfish. They're not. Like, that's weird.
Yeah. Your wedding is about you, yes, but not everyone has to cater to your whim for your
Yeah.
wedding.
No. I hate people like that. Like the bridezillas and stuff. Like, just shut up. Like, like, I saw, like, my mom used to watch the TLC show, what is it? Say Yes to the Dress.
Mm-hmm.
Like, watching that show was ridiculous. 10 grand for a dress? And then they'd be like, all like, you're gonna wear it one time. Like, I don't understand. Maybe 2K, maybe 2,000 because it's like the dress is like made with like lace or like specific type of fabric that's expensive. Like I don't care about that, but like 10 grand on a dress you're gonna wear one day and then you're gonna sit there and be like, you're selfish for not coming to my wedding even though I told you you couldn't come. Like
Right.
it's weird. I don't know. I think they're the asshole.
I would have to agree. I think they should be indeed scolded. They should be scolded for their own actions,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. A lot of this one hasn't been deemed yet. But everyone's saying that yes, they are, like from the comments. Someone says a groomzilla and an untrusting narrator. The title should read, "Am I the asshole for wanting my brother to leave his possible dying wife at home alone to come to my wedding 1,000 miles away from her?"
Right.
That's too long of a title, but I see the point. But yeah, a lot of people
Yes.
are like, "Yeah, you are." The other one has not been answered yet, but
Ooh.
I will read that one now. um So, should I be scolded for getting a tattoo I knew my husband wouldn't like? So 10 years ago, I think this is supposed to be 10. It
Mm.
says TE years. So 10 years ago,
Yes.
around when I met my husband, I got my first tattoo. Nothing crazy, just a flower on my ankle. As he was a new boyfriend at the time, I didn't really pay attention to his feelings or cues. A few years after we were married, we had our first child. I decided I wanted a light blue tattoo on my inner wrist to represent me and my baby. Oh wait. Baby A. I'm assuming they have more children.
Mm-hmm.
For me and my baby A. And he was huffy, but didn't say why. So I got it. 3 years later, I wanted another small one for a Friday the 13th special. And that's when he finally told me he didn't like tattoos. He didn't give reasons, but he said he didn't like them. However, he didn't stop me when I got something representing our favorite video game. Afterwards, we had a long discussion about how much I have always wanted them, how they are important to me, and the style I like versus what he hated. When my dad had recently passed, it was hard, but he knew that eventually I wanted a memorial tattoo. He remembered that, and though he was sarcastic about it, um, and though he was sarcastic about it, he said he understood and wouldn't stop me. So today I saved the final amount I needed and went to my appointment. I got a very colorful rooster about the size of my palm. I love it so much. He saw it and was super pissed. He's barely talking to me and is asleep. I want to peel my skin off immediately. I now hate it and want to undo it because I hate that he's mad at me. But he approved the design. It's just bigger than he expected. Was I wrong for getting it? Edit. Hi, everyone. I never expected this kind of response, and all answers were really interesting to read. Many of you agreed it's my body, my choice, and said my husband's feelings were invalid, which I disagree with. He is not going to leave me over this, so let's take it easy. He is also not a bad person because he was shocked. Obviously, photos versus the real thing, they're going to be different. Now that we've slept, I don't blame him for his initial reaction and needing time to process, but we love each other very, very much, and we can both get past this. Also, the tattoo is on my ankle, and I wear pants, leggings every day, so it's going to be easy enough to cover as it heals. Thank you for all the insight, everyone. I don't like the switch up at the end.
Like you don't like how she kind of reverses on it?
Yeah, like I don't know. That scream I'm getting the Travis Willingham wee woo alarm bells. Like I don't like that. That she came onto the forum, was like, "Hey, my husband's really mad at me. Am I like the asshole for doing this? Like am I like invalidating his feelings by doing this?" And then everyone being like, "No, you're not invalidating his feeling," or like his feelings aren't valid in this situation. It's your body, blah blah blah. And then I don't know when this edit was made, but like to be like, "No, I love him. We're not gonna break up because of this." And obviously, like they're married, so like breaking up isn't easy.
Right.
But them being like, he's also not a bad person. He was just shocked, like making excuses for his behavior, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't like that part of it. What are your thoughts on it?
I guess, I mean, there's some context that's missing because I mean, like at least from the initial reading, it feels much more to me like in general it was already sort of mild anyway. Um, like usually with some of these stories, it feels like there's been like some sort of like big blow up or some like enormous thing. Instead, it sounds more like he was upset about the tattoo being bigger than he was expecting, but then didn't talk with her, and then supposedly things got made up afterward. Um, and if he didn't stop her from getting the tattoos in the first place, it makes me think it's at least not a big enough deal to him that he's doing anything mean or drastic. Though that obviously doesn't rule out like emotional manipulation kinds of factors as well. Um,
Yeah,
and
because
so
he could just be like, "No, like I don't like them," like, or you can get it, it's fine, blah blah blah, and then like she does it, and he's like, "What the hell? I fucking hate this. Like, why would you do that?" And it's like, you told me I could do this.
right. So it's like we don't have those pieces of context. necessarily. Um,
Mhm.
I certainly don't think that she is being. I don't think she's being. She shouldn't be scolded for getting the tattoo. But I do think it's one of those things where at that point in their relationship, it sounds like they've had talks about it and conversations about it. So it's kind of like I don't. I. It's hard to know because if she gets the impression that her husband really doesn't like tattoos, like at all, like it's a big issue.
Mhm.
Um, I think it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I could say that despite her interest. It's like, yeah, like if I, for example, found out that again, I'm using familial examples. Like if I had a wife or
Mhm.
something, and like for some reason I hadn't talked about Star Wars in some long time, and then
Mm.
it suddenly came up that I really like Star Wars, and she's just like, I do not like Star Wars at all,
I
and I would talk
hate
about it and do things whatever, but like I enjoy it. Um, I would probably be very conscientious of the fact that I, would like talk about those things like around her and be aware of that. Um, but it also get to the point like if she really despised it that much, I would really strongly reconsider our relationship because something like that is very important to me. Um, Even
Mhm.
if she's a really good person. So it's like,
It's not deal breaking, but it like makes you question and makes you think about like where are we going forward, like or how
yeah,
like where are we going in the future with this? Because like,
yeah,
are
like I have
there
to make a
more
deal
things
that
that are gonna come up, like that kind of thing?
right, and it's like it's one thing if you dislike someone because everyone's allowed to. They don't have to like the same things in a relationship. Like
No,
that's far from what I think is important. But like,
should
if it's
have your own
enough to make
hobbies.
your relationship stressful because you're doing things the person doesn't like enough, then it's like, okay, maybe this relationship isn't the best, or I have to really reconsider what I choose to do. Like, if the relationship is more important to her than the tattoos, then does she have to make that call on how she chooses to approach her tattoo interest?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, I don't think she needs to be scolded for getting a tattoo in a way that she liked it when it seems like that intention wasn't communicated to from her husband that that was his expectation on the tattoo,
Mm-hmm.
um, kind of thing. But that's maybe my perspective on that. What about you, Grandma? What do you think?
Um, I don't know. As a person who has tattoos, I'm a big I like I advocate heavily for your body, your choice, and
Hmm.
especially when it comes to like art and how you wish to display it. And so, unfortunately, some things do end up coming out bigger than you thought they were going to be because there's details and color work and things that just don't really show up on smaller tattoos. Um, I am actually very surprised that the key tattoo that I got, um, was not uh sized up
Mm.
because of the detail that's in the key, and it's very fine line. Um, the piece on my ribs is very big flowers that I was not expecting to be that big. But it had to be bigger so because of details and stuff like that. So, um I don't know, it just seems like there is a lack of acceptance and therefore in turn is causing a lack of communication, which is going to make things worse. Um I've never really understand like people's like hatred for tattoos. Like you like art, like you like going to museums and looking at art pieces. You like looking at like you like looking at things on Twitter and like pictures on and like stuff like that, you know? Like you watch if you watch anything that's like animated, movie wise, video wise, or like even realistic tattoos, like you could watch your favorite show and like I think it's like it's kind of annoying that people are like, "Oh, you like this so much, but you're gonna put it on your body for the rest of your life. Why?" It's like because I like it that much. That's why.
Mm.
And it's my body. If I make that decision, whatever. But like I don't know. It just because he gets mad at her and she likes it, she keeps doing it and he keeps getting mad. And so then now she's hiding it. Not hiding it, but she's not communicating to him that when she's doing it because she doesn't want to start a fight. And then it ends up starting a fight anyways.
Right.
Um I think they're both the asshole in this situation, in my opinion,
Mm,
because him, like, I don't know the relationship, but like for him to be like, hey, you like this thing? Yeah, well, I hate it, so don't do it. It's like, okay, first of all, go fuck yourself. No. No, I'm going to do what I want to do because I like it. And if that's something that bothers you, then we can have a conversation about it and we can try and find a solution. But it seems like he's not wanting to find a solution. He's like, no, I don't like it, but you can get it, even though it pisses him off. So it's like, it's setting her up for failure.
right.
Um, and then for her to not talk to him about it and to just do it out of spite is also not good, I think.
Right.
Um, I don't know. I agree with you on the fact of like there are some things within the relationship that probably should be reevaluated. And I don't know. I guess as a PSA, just know who you're marrying, guys. Make sure you find out like that. Don't get married so soon. People who get married after like a year or two of dating absolutely shock me because like how you couldn't possibly know everything about that person within a couple years.
Right.
And I've had 2 4-year-long relationships, and as you guys know, I am single. Like both of them ended for multiple different reasons for myself, like things that I was doing, things that they were doing. But like, imagine if I married one of them after 2 years of dating. I would
Right.
be like, you can get out of marriage, but like, you would be stuck in that marriage for however long trying to make it work when when you ran into something, you jumped into it too soon. Like, you really need to get to know the person that you want to marry because after 6 months and they could change who they are or what they like, and you might not like that. And
Right.
why would you want to tie yourself to that for the rest of your life?
Yeah. So it's like you want to make sure you know who that person really is on the inside because that's the person you're going to ultimately marry.
Yeah.
And so it's like you have to you never want to settle for something,
No,
especially
do
when
not
you
settle.
have it sounds bad. It's like you have options. And not
Yeah.
that you want to think of it as like options, but it's like there are other people out there who might be a better fit for you and patience is going to be better. Certainly some people have like goals they wish to achieve more. Like some people are like, I need to get married to have kids so I can have kids early and they want to do these things. It's like, okay, well, if that's your
Mhm.
priority, then you might not be married after 19 years. Once you've had your first kid and they move on. Um, but if you're looking for a relationship that lasts and that fits what you're looking for in a relationship, then take more time to figure it out. Or, stick with the old fashioned way of getting arranged marriage and just get married, and then you guys are contractually bonded together and you can be both mutually into that thing. And you know what? That's on you if you decide to break it off early because you both committed to that. So, that's on you.
No. Oh my gosh. I will say that well, it was off of what you had said previous to the arranged marriage of I don't know, like you don't need to you don't hold on. What did you say?
Just now?
Yeah, my brain.
No, I was just saying, like, like you want to be patient for
Mhm.
the person who's right for you.
Mhm.
I mean, because I think a lot about this. Like, there was a lot of arranged marriages back in the day, but those were also built on a mutual understanding of the family is more important than the individual. And so, like, I can't
Mhm.
really berate people for that back then because that was the society and culture, and individuals were more they had already agreed to that contract a little more, that social contract. Whereas now, very different. Like arranged marriages, no, like that's
Mhm.
not like a big thing. But it's like
At
if
least
you're
in
thinking about the same mentality of like if
Western
your goal is
society.
to have relationship, to be in relationship, doesn't matter what the relationship looks like, you're
Mhm.
better off with arranged marriage where at least you're getting something out of it as compared to you just being aimlessly being like la 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 la. Like,
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
I lost what I was gonna say, so it's gone to the winds now. Um
Alas, alack.
alas. Um But this one again hasn't been voted on. But I don't know. Like, people are saying not. Obviously that was before their edit.
Right.
So I don't know. Like you said, it just didn't blow up. Like, it wasn't like a big thing. It was just like, hey,
Yeah.
we're having a lovers quarrel about what we like and dislike. So
Right. Which means it's ultimately better than a big blow up, in my opinion. Like,
yeah,
you'd rather
I
have a more peaceful resolution to a problem.
I agree.
Um,
So
but
my
yeah,
vote is
it's not
both.
as clear defined. I think I would coincide with that. I agree.
Both should be scolded.
Yes,
Communication
even
is
if it's gentle
key.
scolding. Be
Yes.
communicating.
Make sure you communicate. Well, let us know your thoughts down below if you thought that out of these two stories, if they were or weren't, or they both, or everyone, whatever your thoughts are, let us know in the comments below.
Yes.
We're gonna move on to our Q&A section.
Woo!
Kano,
I love Q&As.
would you like to pick a question?
Sure, I'll pick a question. All right. Well, I personally like this question because I've got a very clear answer for it.
Hmm.
The question is, are you a fan of horror? And if so, what type of horror are you a fan of?
Personally, I am not a huge fan of horror, but I will say that I have been desensitizing myself to it.
Mm,
I'm not a big fan of jump scares or things that hit too close to home, like paranormal
mhm,
stuff. I have a very big I'm very superstitious when it comes to the supernatural, afterlife, all that lovely jazz. Although I will say it is different than being religious. I am not religious, but I believe that there is like something after. Um whether you want to believe it's pearly white gates or a beautiful meadow. Bleh, I can't talk today. I don't know. If anything, I believe in like reincarnation out of most, but yeah, I've been watching like the old films, like older horror movies. Like I watched like all the original Halloweens. I started watching Scream. At some point I want to watch the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
mm,
Um I've seen bits and pieces of the original Friday the 13th, like the Jason movies.
mm.
And I watched it was a while ago now actually that I think about it. I watched the first Saw with Lauren,
Uh,
Seth, and who else was there? I think it might have been Jem that was there. I don't
mm,
remember. Um but we watched the first Saw and like I'm completely fine with gore. So I would say out of all of my favorites, because I don't like suspenseful and like jump scares, I would say my favorite type of horror is probably gore because it's for me it's easier to digest.
mm.
I don't know why. I don't like creepy, like I said, I don't like creepy things that hit too close to home that are like this could happen. Gore, I don't really expect to see, if that makes sense. I could see a ghost
Right.
walking down my staircase before I see someone get gutted, you know? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think those things are much more, I don't know. That's just my thought process on it. But
I gotcha.
I'm sure I know your answer.
Yeah, I mean, as a person, I definitely am not a big fan of horror, which is interesting considering the different things I've come to have to do in the YouTube content creation lifestyle.
Mm.
Because there's a lot of horror games out there that are very popular for people.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, true.
yeah, but I will say that like there were some things like I think about like old school reading Bunnicula type books and like Goosebumps, sort of like horror, but
Mm.
like within a touch of reality and also like kid appropriate. I was like, okay, this is like it's not my favorite, but it's not the worst. Um,
Yeah, it's a good
like I
genre.
yeah, like so it's like I feel like that was much
PG-13
more
horror.
Yeah, PG-13 horror that's digestible, but still like a bit of like
Hmm.
spooky horror, not like Death Day horror, but like
Yeah.
um I enjoyed like a spooky story. And oddly enough, what I was thinking as you were talking about, it's like I do like suspense horror, but I like it after I know it's gonna happen. Because I
Do
can
you like being
appreciate.
spoiled,
Yeah, like
kinda?
if it's if like if there's a movie and it's the sense of like, okay, I'm looking to like, it's a suspenseful horror thing. I want to know what's coming because then if I know it's coming, I can appreciate it and know when not to look. Because I
I do
don't
that
I
with
don't like the jump
Rob.
scare factor. But like to know like, okay, this person's gonna come here at this moment, I can avoid the scariest bit, but then appreciate the build up. Without feeling
Hmm.
like that internal icky sense because I like horror in that it's a really creative way of storytelling and people can really do a lot of things with the genre they can't do with other things.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't like being scared by it. I like being on the other side of it where it's the production end. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'd have a lot of fun if I were to like work at a haunted house because I would know everything about it. But this is how this works. This is how this works. And I wouldn't be scared by it and I could just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like that'd be a lot more validating. Um, but otherwise being on the other end of it, not my favorite.
Oh no. But yeah, I literally do that with Rob, where if we're watching a movie that has like a jump scare in it or something, like we don't typically watch like scary movies, but like we were watching Pirates of the Caribbean, and
Mm,
I know that there's a jump scare in like one of the movies where like a skeleton like pops up into your face or something.
mm-hmm.
Or like movies along those lines. And I was like, uh I'm trying to think. There's another movie that did that, but I don't remember what it was. Um, but I was like, oh, like warning, jump scare, and like I feel she'd still get got by them. Like I would hear her go like, oh, like
Yeah.
she would still get scared by them, but like I would try and warn her if I've seen the movie before because I didn't appreciate the jump scare watching it for the first
Mm,
time, and I know like she's much more sensitive than I am. Not that that's a bad thing. I not in a
yeah.
negative light, but like, um, I don't know. Maybe it's just my overprotectiveness that I'm like very cautious of like Rob's feelings and anxiety and stuff like that. That I'm just like, no one hurt her. No one hurt the
Mhm.
baby. So I like
Right.
warn her when jump scares are coming. But yeah. I guess I can pick a
Getcha.
question.
Yeah.
I think this is a good question. But I've only really, I think I've only been involved in like one or two, so I really only have
Mm.
one answer. But or what has been your favorite project that you have had involvement with? I know you've been in a
Mm.
couple of projects, so you have some things to choose from. My list is much smaller.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I guess the thing is it can be really anything. Technically speaking, I think people probably are aiming for content creation, but I could think of another of other projects I've done that aren't like YouTube related or Twitch related. Um,
Yeah.
or just projects in general. Because I definitely will say like in terms of YouTube, like I was lucky enough to be in Gizzy and working with him and doing a lot of like his clue stuff, which I always think is really
That's what
fun
I
and
was
like
thinking is what
content
your
creation
answer would
wise.
be.
Because it was always fun, but I was fun because I had to be like on the production side of it, like Gizzy, and I was part of like the writing team for all those clues every time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really special for me. But like in terms of outside of that, um, this is going to be really strange. It's very off the niche, but when I was in college and I had my job working as the communication assistant at my university,
Mm-hmm.
during my senior year, they would write, a sort of like middle of the year to end of the year, like newsletter that they'd send out to like alumni relations and kind of overall like collecting like all this stuff across the school. And I had the privilege of getting to write some obituaries for that.
Oh,
Where I would take like information like those given from profiles to write on different people. But it was really
that's
cool to
interesting.
like get like to talk to people. Because like there were a few phone calls I had to make to like talk about like there's like one person in particular we were doing like a more prominent feature on for our obituaries, and so I got to like interview I think his wife. And it was really cool to like talk with her on the phone because she's like this like older lady. So she's just like, oh, and then, like we finished and she's like, you're so sweet. Like you should call me more often. And I'm like, oh, maybe I will. Still never did anything with that at all, unfortunately, because it just got busy. Um, but it was really sweet to get to do that, and I enjoyed getting to like learn about people and their lives and projects and stuff, um and learn about like people who had gone to my school. And so like I think about things I'm proud of that I got to be involved with, and like that's one of the things that like I'm like that was really cool to get to be part of that endeavor. Um and
Mhm.
think about like the people who had learned before me and had done just like things, and like because some were like really accomplished, but others were like not so much. But like as a writer, that felt very validating for me to like get to be part of that and to tell those people's stories in a certain way. I was thinking about obituaries a lot lately because there's this newish show called Not Dead Yet that's on ABC that we have
Mhm.
on Hulu. And so Mel and I've been watching it when there's been new episodes, and it's about this reporter who's assigned the obits for this newspaper, but then the dead people, like the people who actually she's writing about, like are ghosts that haunt her until she finishes writing their obituary. And she learns like life lessons from them, which is
Ooh,
really funny and interesting.
that's
Um,
cool.
but I've enjoyed that, so I've been thinking a lot about it. It's like, I actually wrote some obituaries at one point in time, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that's one. If I had to choose something, at least in my head right now, that I'm like, this was something I really enjoyed being part of and involved with. That's one of them.
Hmm, this is such a good
Yeah.
answer. Oh gosh. I don't have any like niche projects, I don't think. Um, I mean, in college, I produced like a show for our like college uh station, like our college channel that would run on Rogers, which is like a big um one of the major uh like internet and phone providers here.
Ooh,
Like our big three are Bell, Rogers, and Telus.
gotcha.
They're like AT&T and stuff like that for you guys.
Right.
Um, but I produced a show for that, and gosh, I guess that would be like my niche one that's like outside of YouTube. Um, because that was really cool. It was like it was
Yeah.
called Player versus Player, and I had two hosts that would go head to head in like different types of competitions. And we would like
Oh.
interview people who were like knowledgeable on like the subject. So like we did like an episode of like geocaching. So like we interviewed
Oh.
someone who like is like a veteran geocacher and like how it works and what you can do. And then we had two teams like go and film each host, and they had to like go and find a geocache. Um
Oh.
and then we had like other episodes like axe throwing, and then we interviewed like people being like, oh, like how do you get into axe throwing, and like how long has your business been here, like those types of stuff.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. And then like we got to do like local businesses and like show off local businesses as well within like the region that I went to school in.
Hmm.
But for YouTube, I think my favorite, I guess, quote unquote project, because it's not, I don't know what classifies a project, if you're being paid for it, if it's not a project then. But like I got to body
Mm.
act for the new Skate Pro Undertale series. Y'all
Mm.
remember that? I played Flowey in most of the
Oh.
episodes.
Of course you
As
played
as the
Flowey.
body actor. I played Flowey, and I played um what did I play? I think I played Frisk a couple of times. Um but yeah, that was really fun. That was like the first body acting job that I had. Um
Hmm.
and I really like Undertale. I love the story, so it was really cool to get to work on that.
Yeah.
And then after that, my favorite project has been Eden, because it's technically been a freelance thing that I've done.
True.
Yeah. So those are mine. And like I Eden I had involvement with because near the end of arc 3 I started helping you guys, and then arc 4 I was a writer, so I had more
Right.
involvement then. But yeah,
But I
those
will
are
say, I think you can count yourself as being involved all the way through because you were a content creator almost from the beginning, and then as Eden was, it's the story you made of it. So So even though you were on
Yeah.
the official writing team for the later parts, like your own story was built up the whole entire time you were part of Eden. So you were involved in it on a different level, yes, but you were still involved. So I think the whole thing counts.
All right, I'll take it. All right, last question, Kano.
All right.
Make it
Last
quick.
question. Super easy peasy.
Yep.
Favorite type of dessert, girl? What is it?
A warm brownie with fudge drizzle and ice cream.
Mm,
Favorite type of dessert.
good choice. Mine has to be like I like that a lot. Mine though, if I had to pick one, would always be eclair cake. Totally. Like the
Ooh.
best. Graham crackers with like chocolatey like pudding and then like
Isn't eclair cake different than the hell's that coffee one? Oh no. Hold on. Hold on. Coffee cake. I don't
coffee
know.
cakes are like dry, like they're like pastries.
No, I'm not thinking of coffee cake. It's got like you take like lady fingers and you like dip it in coffee and then you like layer the cake.
Oh, like tiramisu?
Tiramisu, that's what it is. I'm assuming
It's different. It's different than
okay.
tiramisu. It's layers of graham cracker, not chocolate pudding. It's just like French vanilla pudding, like mixture of like whipped cream and stuff. And then you have like chocolate frosting over all of that.
Ooh, this looks good.
Simple but good.
Mmm.
I love it. My mom makes it for me for my birthday every year, and she knows I love it. I'm like, I love it. Thank you.
I am also a big sucker for ice cream. Like I will eat ice cream all year round, any occasion. If it could be like the middle of like a -40 blizzard, and if you looked at me and went, "Do you want to go get Dairy Queen?" I'd be like, "Yes." I'd be like, "Put your snow boots on. We're going to get Dairy Queen." I do not care.
I love ice cream any time of year too.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
So I didn't go with ice cream because I feel like I eat that not as a dessert. I eat it all the time, whenever during the day. Yeah, literally. So I don't know. The first thing that popped into my head was like, there's a restaurant called Moxie's.
Okay.
And they do that type of dessert where like they have the warm brownie with ice cream. Oh my god, it's so good. So
really
good. Now I want it. God damn it. now I want it.
Makes sense.
But anyway, if you have any questions for us, please make sure that you submit them in our Discord or through the Live Ask link. The Live Ask link is an anonymous link. So if you have any like questions that involve advice or personal information that you want to keep yourself anonymous, feel free to use that. But if not, you can ask us in our Discords or on Twitter by tweeting us at grandparents pod with a D, not with a G. And also make sure that you let us know your thoughts and feelings on everything else that we've talked about this episode.
Yeah.
As we make our way into the game.
The game.
The game.
It's a very simple game for this week, which works out because we talked so much about ourselves earlier on. So
I know.
I don't mind that this is a little bit of a shorter one, but that's okay.
Long episode for the win.
Exactly. We love long episodes. So no Genshin game this week. I'm going to save that for another time so we can keep it enjoyable for later. But we are going to be doing, in honor of the Super Mario movie, a Mario trivia game. Just 5 questions, super simple, but this might be the easiest game we've played so far. So I think it'll be a good one because at least if you have some general Mario knowledge, it should be somewhere in your wheelhouse. And I think you should excel at this game. So I'm quite excited. Basically, plan is that we're going to I'm going to ask 5 questions. They're multiple choice questions. So not necessarily any hints for it, but they'll be pretty direct and you can kind of brainstorm and think about it. But they'll just give some fun facts about Mario games, and if you don't know the answers, then you learn something new. So that's the fun part. So yeah, and I will note most of these questions were taken from a quiz I found on Beano.com. I want to make sure credit is given where credit is due.
I'll be
so if you
sure
want
to link the quiz.
Yes, if you should see more of their full questions, then you can check out there to see the rest of their quiz as well. But I'm stealing these from them at the very least. Okay. So
wait, before you start, ready? I also I want to just say, I don't know if you were going to say this, but on our document, Kano has put, "Let's learn more about Mario, shall we?" I like that you put that little like blurb there before the questions. I thought that was so cute. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, no. All right. Anyways, yes. So, very first question: which of these Mario games, based on the title, came first? So which of these, in the order of release, was
Mm-hmm.
came first? We have Super Mario Odyssey,
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario Run,
Mm-hmm.
Mario Bros, or New Super Mario Bros.
Okay, well, New Super Mario Bros. I know what is a game that I played when on my DS. So I'm gonna not. It's not that one. And then Super
Mm-hmm.
Mario Odyssey is one of the most recent ones for Switch.
Mm-hmm.
S- I've never heard of Super Mario Run, though. That's my only problem. I know Mario Bros. Like the original Mario Bros. Is the one where like it's the side scroller platformer, but like it's very like low. It's like 8-bit pixelated,
Yeah.
I think. Oh no. That's gotta be the first one, right? I've never heard of Super Mario Run. I'm gonna go with Mario Bros. But
Cool.
probably wrong.
You say that, but you know what? You're not wrong. You're right. It is indeed Mario Bros, the very
Woo!
first Mario game. Super
What
Mario
year did it
Run.
come out?
Oh, sorry. You want to know when it came out?
Yeah.
Mario Bros. Well, Mario Bros released, as I double check my
Google.
math. The original Mario Bros came out in 1983.
Ooh, okay,
This
okay,
is very
okay.
early. Whereas Super Mario Run came
Yeah,
out in 2016. It was
what is
a
that?
Mario game that was developed for the phone. Um,
Oh,
and
no
it's one of
shit.
those things where it was super new at the time. They've obviously not pushed for a lot of mobile games, but it was one of the very few that they actually had created for Mario.
I'm gonna look.
So
I'm gonna look that up on the App Store. Is that? I wonder if that's still a game that I can
I
get.
assume it's probably still one, but it's probably not actively kept up, would be my guess.
Super Mario Run. It's here. I can get it still. No way.
So look at that. You can play Mario on your phone.
That's cool. It's only got a 3.6 star rating though.
Yeah, but that's,
Uh-oh.
that's all right though. On Google Play, it's got 4 out of 5, so it's not so bad for some people. Really depends on what you're looking for, probably.
Hmm.
But it's a game. It's Mario
It's
in
a
the game.
game.
It's a game.
It's a game. Oh no. Okay,
But
next
yeah,
question. Next
it is.
question.
All right. Yes. Next question. Okay. So, along a similar line of what we were talking about with firsts,
Mm-hmm.
Mario obviously was around prior to his own game actually being
Yes.
released. He was in other Nintendo games. But which Nintendo game was the first one that Mario appeared in? Was it Ice Climber, Donkey Kong, The Legend of Zelda, or Kid Icarus?
I think it was Donkey Kong because that's the you would play as Mario to try and get to the top. They pretty instant guess, but I'm gonna say Donkey Kong because I don't know what Ice Climber is. I don't know what Kid Icarus is, and then Legend of Zelda has their own protagonist.
That is true, but you are indeed correct on that one. It is
Let's
Donkey
go.
Kong is the first one, but Ice Climber and so Ice Climber, like if you've played Super Mario or not Super Mario,
Mm-hmm.
Smash Bros before, you're probably familiar with like the Ice Climbers. The two characters, but like siblings who use ice abilities. Kid Icarus is where like you have like Pit coming from Palutena. That's all from Kid Icarus. Like the angels and kind of their war and stuff. And
Oh,
then Legend of Zelda obviously has Link and Zelda and everybody else. But yeah, Donkey Kong's the first one that Mario appeared in. And
let's
that was before
go.
Mario games ever existed. So there you go.
Heck yeah.
All right. Question number 3. What was Mario's original name?
Oh no.
His original name wasn't Mario. Was it Spanner Dude, Paolo, Jumpman, or Fabio?
Oh my gosh. Spanner Dude, Paolo, Jumpman, or Fabio? I want to say Jumpman for the memes, but I don't know if that's right. um, Leonard, Paolo, Fabio, or Jumpman? If his first appearance was in Donkey Kong and he was jumping over barrels, I'm gonna say Jumpman, but I have a strong feeling that that's wrong and it's Fabio. I'm gonna say Jumpman.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, you are right once again. It was indeed Jumpman.
Let's go! 3 for 3, baby!
Other names were literally just things that were put in that have absolutely no relation to Mario whatsoever. So
Let's
Jumpman is
go!
definitely appropriate. But isn't it kind of funny that that's the thing that Mario actually was like, that's his trait, is he just jumped and jumped over things. Like, imagine that.
Jump around.
Yeah.
Jump up, get down.
All right.
Sorry.
Now for the questions I made, which probably means they're harder, which is more fun.
Oh, no.
But all right. So question number 4. You're still on a good streak. You got 3 out of 5 so far, which is 3 out of 3. Technically, you're 100% right now.
Yay! I'm winning.
What was what was the first mainstream game of Mario that Mario spoke in?
Oh, like actual words?
Yes, actual words, or even just having a voice in general. Because you didn't have a voice prior to a certain point.
Yeah, it was just
which of these
sounds.
Games did Mario first speak in? We have Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy, or Mario Kart.
I don't think it's Mario Kart because none of them talk. Galaxy is newer than Sunshine, but I've watched Sunshine speedruns and I don't remember him talking. So it's either really old or it's really new. Oh no. Does like "let's go" count as like actual words?
Yeah.
Can I get that as a hint?
If he spoke in general, then yes, that'd be correct.
Okay, then I'm gonna say 64, Mario 64, because he would. Didn't he used to be like, "let's go," and then he would like jump into the pipe, something, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, generally, yes. First of all, you got that answer right. Yes, it is Super Mario 64.
Let's go!
But like, think about like, I think about this because I've been watching like my friend
guess.
Zach has been streaming a lot of Mario lately, Super Mario 64, and doing speed runs of it.
That's true.
And Mario is, even when they're fighting, it's just like whoa, whoa, whoa. It makes tons of vocal sounds all the time, and that's that's the very first platform that Mario had that he spoke in, which is
I didn't
crazy.
think vocal cues was this. I thought you meant like physical or like.
I mean, he's spoken as well, yes, but like that's the first time that Mario is fully voice acted in general, is that he had both those as well as lines. So it's like, yep.
Damn.
Just look at that. So 4 out of 4. Mousie is on a roll. This is the best performance so far of a game. She didn't even get this good. Well, she was, I think, about this good for the Critical Role game, but she didn't get 100%.
Such stupid years. Question. I thought their years were longer.
You were pretty close, which is not bad. But all right, this one's the trickiest one, but I think it's also something that might be feasible. All right, which of these games is the best-selling Mario game in Mario history?
Oh no.
Because there's been quite a few Mario titles that have gotten over 1 million copies sold, but which of these is the best-selling? We have Super Mario Bros., Mario Kart 8, Super Mario Party, and Super Mario Odyssey. Which of these has sold the most copies and is the best-selling Mario game?
Oh my god. I'm tied between Mario Kart 8 and Odyssey just because they're newer games. And I feel like not a lot of people, especially parents for their kids, are grabbing these like the older games.
Right.
Not that Party is older, but I know Super Mario Bros. Is Game Boy, right?
Super Mario Bros. So actually, I'll clarify.
Because there's
Super Mario Bros. Was on that was the like NES Mario title. That was like kind of like when it started stepping into like the bigger systems.
Okay. Yeah, because like Damn, that's even further than I thought. Because there's Mario Bros, which was the original platformer, and then you have Super Mario Bros, and then you have New Super Mario Bros, and the New Super Mario
Right.
Bros is supported on DS. Like the first, it was supported on DS. So I didn't know how big
Yes.
of a jump it was from Super Mario Bros to New Super Mario Bros, but I did not think it
Right.
was NES to DS. That's an
Yeah.
insane time gap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna say Mario Kart 8 solely based on the fact that I feel like parents are gonna buy their kids Mario Kart for like Christmas or whatever more than they would buy the
Mm-hmm.
platforming games because Mario Kart can be played with the whole family. So I'm
I
gonna
get you.
go with that one.
All right. Well, you are correct. It is indeed Mario Kart 8, which I think is because it's got the mix of like Mario Kart success. It was also technically one of the few games that was sold on both the Wii U and the Switch.
Yeah.
So it had a track record that transcended a lot of
Oh,
titles.
that is
So
very
it
true.
so it's appealed. So it has a much larger value. It's also like you think about it, like even though classic Mario sold well, it didn't pick up until more now when Mario is the flagship of Nintendo.
Yeah.
So like some of the other titles that fit into that top category are Mario Kart Wii. I mean, I guess look at the numbers here. So it's still pretty pale in comparison because
Hmm.
according to this wiki page I'm looking at with the reference materials,
Hmm.
there have been over 60 million copies of Mario Kart 8 sold. There
60
are over
million.
40 million. So 20 million jump between Super Mario Bros. And the NES versus Mario Kart 8.
Oh
Then
wow.
Mario Kart Wii is 37 million. New Super Mario Bros., so the one you remember, had
Hmm.
30 million. And
Damn.
then New Super Mario Bros. Wii was right behind that. Those are like the top 5 titles overall. And a lot of
Wow.
them are newer games just because that's where it's been more current sales.
Yeah. Well, that's
People have
that's what I'm
been
trying to think
invested.
is that like the games that came out in like the 80s and 90s like aren't being played as much because we I say we because I was born in the 90s, but like
Right.
people who were playing it in the 80s are no longer playing it as much, and
Yeah.
the way that the graphics have changed and the way that they're marketing it, they're more targeting it at a younger audience and parents buying it for their kids. So I feel like the newer games are going to do well because graphically they're prettier and they're more like versatile. Caramel, stop. Like the Mario, he's playing with my mic. The
There you go.
Mario Party you can buy and like the whole family can play. Mario Kart 8, the whole family can play. You just need like the Wii controllers or Switch controllers or whatever.
Right.
Odyssey, I feel like probably didn't do as well because it was solely a Switch game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then Super Mario Bros is NES. So that would be like our generation. Um which isn't playing it as much as they were before. So
Right.
I don't
Exactly.
know. That was like my deduction, and I was like, "Oh God, please!"
Yeah.
I
But hey, you
got
wanna know what? That is
5
episode 9. Mousie gets 100% on the game at the end.
It only took me 9 episodes, guys.
See, you say that, and I say, "Wow!" By the ninth
Well,
episode,
8.
she already hit the streak. Now you've got nowhere else to go. Like you've already reached the top. Like, what's that
Yeah,
going to mean for you now for the hundreds of episodes that are coming after today?
I just gotta keep getting 100%. Also, it's 8 because we didn't do a game last week.
Okay,
So,
fair enough. Because
or
yeah,
not
we
last
did
week,
we
but the
did
Eden
Eden.
episode. Yeah.
Right. So still 8 games.
Let's go. And of course, it's on Mario knowledge, which I like have very little knowledge of, but like I would say equal amount of knowledge of like to any other game that I play. And I
Yeah.
got 100%. That's so funny. But yeah, let's go. I won the game.
Yeah.
I'm hella excited about that.
Yes, but yeah, now that we've Mousy got 100%. Let us know how much you got right with this game. Let
Yeah.
us know if there anything that you learned that was new or exciting
Mhm.
or different. Or if you think, hey, that game was too easy, I've got this better fact of trivia. Here's what I would think, and here's the answer. Like, let us know. We want to know what kind of
Yeah.
cool things you guys know or what you got with these quizzes because they're just as much for you as they are for us. So we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, and if there's any other games that you think that we could play on the podcast, you can also let us know that. As well
Hmm.
as any potential future guests that you might want to see, we can do our best to make it happen. But that's all we got for today. So thank you thanks for sticking around for this longer episode. There was a lot that we caught up on, a lot that we had to talk about, and yeah. Just like we said at the beginning, just leave us a comment, guys, because we love you and we like reading them. And we will see you next week. I hope everyone who's listening to this had a good Easter as well.
Agreed.
And yeah, we will see you next time. Love you guys. Bye.
Yeah, love you guys. Bye.
Be good people, do good things. I almost forgot.
Yeah. How dare you? Now they're gonna all be bad people and do bad things.
No.